Well, howdy y'all. Welcome to another edition of M vs. NPR. This will be an opinion piece about the Earth and extinctions and so forth. And I got something to say at the end, so stay tuned. Of course, the gay-ass music.
It takes only a few paragraphs in Genesis for the Earth to take shape, sprout with life, and then human beings. Of course, that development actually took millions of years.
Wrong. Why does NPR always open up with a statement that is factually wrong? I don't know.
But this week, as the world watched a huge hurricane gather in the Earth's warming waters and wreak terrible destruction on life in the islands of the Bahamas and other places, there was another humbling reminder that human beings really only play a supporting role in the history of the Earth. Scientists have uncovered what they call the Great Oxidation Event.
Yeah, this is actually not new discovery, but I imagine this is a new paper on it. Read any of Nick Lane's books on it. Nick Lane. Read any of them if you want to know. They're very interesting. And dollar for dollar worth the most of most other books written in the field.
They say it destroyed almost all life on Earth about 2 billion years ago, even before the rise and extinction of the dinosaurs, a mere millions of years ago. Malcolm Hodgkiss, a PhD candidate at Stanford, and
actually that was dozens of millions of years ago, but whatever.
The study says researchers found barite, an ancient mineral in rocks in Canada's subarctic. The rocks have chemical signatures locked inside that help scientists determine what the Earth's atmosphere was like when they were formed.
Yeah, now this will go into ice cores and pretty much anything that deals with ancient or carbon dating type science. It's pretty much atomic dating kind of science. And this is important for people to understand that this is valid. And it's important for everyone to understand that because of something I'll discuss at the end.
Formed. Scientists say the Earth's only living inhabitants about 2 billion years ago were microorganisms. But when they photosynthesized, that process that turns light into chemical energy, the tiny organisms saturated the Earth with oxygen.
Not all microorganisms photosynthesized. In fact, very few did. Most of them fed off each other, but I won't get into that.
Too much oxygen. The excess essentially poisoned the atmosphere for 80 to 99.5% of the organisms that then thrived on Earth and left the planet almost lifeless.
Now, this is important for people to understand. Nature cycles in systems like this, where the majority of things on a planet will die, and then the minority that remains will engage in Malthusian reproduction, biogeographic evolution, and then eventually into Darwinian evolution. It's important for people to understand that.
Malcolm Hodgkiss told CNN, even our most conservative estimates would exceed estimates for the amount of life that died off during the extinction of the dinosaurs approximately 65 million years ago. A character in Nevil Shute's 1957 novel On the Beach, who contemplates the world being engulfed by nuclear radiation, tells a friend, "It's only the end of us. The world will go on just the same, only we shan't be in it. I dare say it will get along all right without us."
Now, that is probably the most important point in this article, and it's important for people to understand that. The Earth existed for billions of years without us, and it'll probably exist for another few billion years after. Whether or not we're on it is up to us. And even the environment surrounding Chernobyl has evolved to sustain itself despite radiation that would kill most humans. There are lakes in Russia and around the Baltic and Black Seas that are horribly polluted with oil. And there are microorganisms and even higher organisms that have adapted to exist. Now, of course, we can't eat them. They would be poisonous to us. But once upon a time when we thought these lakes and waterways were horribly and permanently destroyed to the point where no life can be sustained in them anymore because of the oil, life found a way. Now, whether or not we'll find a way is kind of the issue here.
Scientific study and actual events reminded us this week that the Earth endures. It's us, all the living things that inhabit it for a while who are fragile and who know our time is fleeting. The microorganisms that preceded us millions of years ago didn't know what was happening to the Earth as they lived or what could happen to them because of it. There was nothing they could do. We know what's happening on this Earth all around us. We know what we can do.
And what we can do, we are doing. Now, a lot of people may be wondering why I've been doing these sort of NPR nature things. Normally I focus on NPR male issues. It's because I think it's important. And I've been working on a video. I have the script like half written. I've been working on a script for a video with citations and everything for a few weeks now. I'll actually get to a good old-fashioned video that isn't this kind of weird news live stream crap that I've been doing a little bit later. I've just been doing this news live stream crap to sort of get some re-engagement going because I've been gone for so long. Now, it's important for MGTOW and other Manosphere members to understand that we need, if we're going to cite statistics and scientific data in other fields, we can't then just dismiss statistics and scientific data in other fields when it suits us. Because that's essentially what the feminists and liberals do. What we need to do is be consistent in our acceptance of scientific data and research. I'm not saying blindly accept it. Criticize it, please. That's the whole nature of science. But we will need to be a bit more, how shall I say, less dogmatic, bit more or less. We will need to be less dogmatic. Just because we're right about one thing doesn't mean we're right about everything. And just because other people are wrong about most things doesn't mean they're not right about one thing. What we need to do is start being more critical of how we use and accept science, especially if we're going to be making policy proposals. I got a video about Ben Carson planned on that second after my global warming video. Yes, if we're going to make policy proposals like taking away women's right to vote, that's great. Except for if we're going to say something like that, that's radical. You can't then also have an opinion that is verifiably contradicted by science. You can't have it. That'll discredit your policy proposal. Now, if you want to just personally have whatever opinion you want and MGTOW it up and go your own way and make no policy proposals, then that's good. But if you're going to make a policy proposal, then you're also going to have to, how shall I say, have views that are aligned with science and statistics all the time. All right, well, thanks for hanging in with me there. And I will get a straight-up education video out to you on global warming soon, and then a Ben Carson follow-up, and then a more detailed video explaining why I think it's important for MGTOW to, how shall I say, be more universally accepting of science. All right, well, you guys have a nice day, and always remember to go your own way. Yours truly, Ed.